Hi, my name is Cung Lee. I became a fighter because I used to get picked on when I was younger. So my mom put me in martial arts, and here I am today, Strikeforce middleweight champion.
What was it like fighting Frank Shamrock? Like, what did you feel going into it? And there was like speculation, like people thought you weren't ready for that fight, but you know, you totally kicked ass in that fight. Like, how did it feel going into it?
Do I look into the camera or
whatever?
Or you?
I don't care.
Well, you know what? I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. I went in there and I just put it all out there, and I came out ahead. I wasn't worried about who I was fighting. I knew Frank was going to be one of my toughest fights up to date, and yes, he was very tough, and yeah, I just went out there and just did my best. And
You want to do a rematch with him?
Sure. I mean, he gave me the chance to fight him. Of course, I got to give him that chance for a rematch if he wants it.
What was it like fighting in K1 for all those years, and how was the progression or the transition over to MMA?
You know, I think with all the fighting styles that I've done from K1 to Sancho, it's definitely helped my transition into MMA. MMA is the most challenging type of fighting that I've done, from stand up to ground and smaller gloves. It's definitely very tough.
What are your dreams and your goals as a fighter? What do you want to accomplish?
I take one day at a time, one fight at a time, and it was a big accomplishment and a dream of mine to be able to fight in such a high-level fight against Frank Shamrock. So right now I'm just going to take it one day at a time and talk to my promoter, Scott Coker, and find out what's next for me.
Do you ever see yourself going to the UFC?
You know what? A lot of people talk about me fighting in the UFC, but I still got a fight contract with Strikeforce. And, I know UFC's done Matt Hughes versus Hoist Gracie before, and if Dana White's open for that, I think that's the only way I can leave my contract for one fight against their champion, which would be Anderson Silva. But I couldn't just turn my back to Strikeforce. They've done a lot for me, but you never know.
How many fights do you have remaining on your Strikeforce contract?
4.
4 fights. And do you ever see, or do you feel it'd be a good idea to have a fighters union?
I think a fighters union would be good, so the union can protect the fighters.
And what's the biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge for me is just, like for me, maintaining just everything that I'm doing, because, being a father, being a fighter, now getting into the movies, it's been very busy for me. I've been traveling all over, and I'm getting ready to leave to Berlin for 2 months at the end of this month, and it's probably the longest that I've been away from my kids since I've never been that away that long. So I'm pretty kind of happy but sad about me leaving.
Can you tell us about the movies? Like, what movies have you been in, and what movies are you going to be in?
I've done 2 big movies. One's called Fighting. That's with Channing Tatum, star of Step Up, and he's now Duke of G.I. Joe. And Terrence Howard's in the movie, and that's going to have like one of the greatest fight scenes in there. And in Tekken, which is a video game, and I play martial law. And both those movies will be released next year. And I'm getting ready to leave to Berlin to film Pandorum. And Pandorum's a science fiction thriller. And the actors that are attached to that are Ben Foster and Dennis Quaid and myself, and the director's Christian Albert, and the producers is Jeremy Bolt, who produced all of the Resident Evil movies.
And do you want to leave the fighting business and do movies full time?
You know what? I'm hoping that I can still fight. 4 out of my 6 fights, I was doing movies at the same time, but the only difference now is I'm going for longer periods of time, so I just can't schedule any fights while I'm filming a movie, because this movie is like demanding, and I think it's also it'll open up more doors for MMA fighters, because directors and producers seeing like if I do a good job on the movie, that they will take risk on other MMA fighters to carry a lead role in a big budget movie.
How do you celebrate a victory?
I celebrate victory with a lot of chocolate chip cookies and pizza. Yeah.
No drinking?
No, make 2 cups of wine, and that's pretty much that's all it takes to put me on my butt.
If, like, say there's people out there, fans that want to, like, get in shape and lose weight, what kind of nutritional supplements would you recommend, and what kind of working out?
Well, you know, it's not so much about nutritional supplements to lose weight. I think it's a well-balanced diet with the supplements and a regular workout schedule, like at least 3 to 4 times a week, hour to hour and a half a day. And you know, if you know, people can actually just start out walking or jogging and then get into the gym. But you know, as they get better and get in better shape, they just got to take their training up to another level, from cross training to different activities, whether it's hitting the mitts or hitting the bags, or to stay fit.
And let's say you did fight Anderson Silva. How would you see that fight happening? What would be the result of the fight? How do you think it would go?
You know what? It would be an honor to fight Anderson Silva. I don't know how it would go, but I definitely wouldn't go in there and be scared. I would go in there and engage in the fight and make it, open up some, like Force. He goes in there and he engages against Shogun. He engages against Rampage, and look what happened. And I got to go in there and engage against Anderson Silva, because anything can happen.
Are you confident you can beat Anderson Silva?
You know what? I never say I can beat anyone. I went into the fight against Frank. I don't know until I step into the cage and fight him. Then after the fight, I find out whether I beat him or not.
And who are other fighters that you would like to fight against?
Actually, there's a lot of great fighters. There's I know Strikeforce just signed Masaki, K1. Pride. Middleweight champion a couple years back, but right now it's just my biggest fight right now is this movie Pandorum. It's gonna be a big one.
And do you have a joke you could tell us?
A joke? I don't have any jokes, sorry. Yeah.
How about a funny story from a fight, or maybe a training session you were in, something funny like that?
You know what? All my fights have been pretty serious. I think the funny one was against Frank. I think he just talks so much shit. Excuse my Vietnamese, but he just talks so much. I never, talk smack or anything, and I think it's just all caught up to me in the cage, and he was making those gestures, 1 finger, 2 fingers, and I just got caught up in the moment and, try to get funny back.
What was he saying to you in there?
He was just saying, good shot, I got 1, I got 2 punches, I got 3 punches, and then after I kicked him twice, and then his mouthpiece fell out, and I said, hey, pick up your mouthpiece, I got 1 on you, so.
Is there any other questions I should ask you, or anything you want to say to the fans?
You know what? I just want to say thank you to all the MMA fans, and for all your support. Thank you to all my sponsors, ADX and Throwdown and Zebra Mats, and everyone who supported me. And say, I got my new gym, Universal Strength Headquarters. It's like 10,000 square feet. I love going to work every day and training.
And do you have a website?
www.cunglee.com, and if you want to follow my movie career, you can go on to imdb.com, International Movie Database, and just look up Cung Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you.